Hey folks, Micah McGee here. As you know, Caleb got a deer. That was the highlight, according to him, maybe the best thing he had, funnest time, maybe the best highlight of his life, according to Caleb himself. So what I did, I saved the liver and the lungs. I put them in a bag and I froze them immediately. Lungs can spoil extremely quickly. If you think about it, oxygen is the enemy of preservation. So obviously, lungs are full of oxygen. Even after the animal expires, they're still puffy, full of oxygen. So if you're gonna do this, I suggest to freeze it immediately. Don't be going and getting lungs from some animal you don't know anything about. It needs to be fresh. So in today's video, I'm gonna be making a sausage strictly from organ meat. Not just the liver and lungs, but right now, the liver and lungs are what we're dealing with. And the liver and the lungs can be sliced, frozen. Look at this. This just came out of the freezer. I had them setting out for just a minute. You can take your knife and just go like that and just work it back and forth. You got a solid frozen, beautiful liver and lung right there. You can see the difference between the liver and the lung. Now, I'm just gonna take them and cut them into strips that'll go through my grinder. You can grind these through frozen, folks, and that really makes it safe, and it actually is better to grind sausage through frozen anyway. So I'm gonna quickly just go ahead and knock this out. You just kind of rock your knife back and forth, put a little bit of that 200 pound on it. You say, McGee, I ain't got no 200 pound. Well, just work with what you got. That's all I can tell you. Cut it up into pieces, it'll go through the grinder. As soon as I get this cut up, we're gonna talk about the other organs. Let me just jump in right quick and say to those of you that turn your nose up at the liver, Micah McGee don't like liver that good either. I don't really care for liver much at all, but I believe we can take it and make a sausage that doesn't taste too livery. But we're gonna find that out now. Why would I go ahead and do it anyway if I don't like it? Look up the nutrition facts on liver. Look up the nutrition facts on lung. You can't find deer lung nutrition facts, but you can on beef. Deer's not gonna be much different. It'll blow your mind. This is the superfood. Unbelievable superfood. That's what we're making, superfood sausage. This is the heart. This is the other organ on this deer that is gonna make this sausage epic. It has more of a regular meat flavor. It's not livery. Gonna be good in this sausage. Now I'm just gonna slice it up where it can be put through. You'll notice it's got fat on it. It ain't much. A little bit of tallow in a food like this is not a problem. We're gonna add mangalitsa fat to be our main fat. But our other organ that we're gonna use is very high in fat, very high in cholesterol, and I'm hoping the good kind of cholesterol. Let's see what we got here. Just recently, my cattleman friend across the road here called and said, would you like some of these? And I said, you ain't just joking. I would like some of these. These are not deer. I did keep the deer ones, but I'm using them for a different video because I've only got two. Because, well, a male animal only has two of these. This, my friend, is what you call mountain oysters. And I'm just gonna get a good appropriate amount here and put in this sausage. And my friend, these are full of iron, selenium, zinc, vitamin B. There are many reasons to go nuts over this fine food right here. So I think that's gonna be about enough of those I'm gonna put this back into the ice. You'll be seeing these pop out in other videos coming up shortly. I could not be happier about this little bag of goodies right here. And as I mentioned before, we're gonna be using Mangalitsa fat. It's frozen. It barely wants to come out. I'm just simply going to do a guesstimation. I'm gonna say these 3 pieces of Mangalitsa fat combined with this pile of testicles and all of this nice lung, it's gonna make just about the perfect amount of fat. So let's get in there, let's grind this before it starts thawing out. As you can see, it's still quite frozen. You've never seen liver do that before, I bet you. Let's get it in there, grind it, mix it with the seasonings, and we're gonna stuff it into a casing. Let's go. All right, folks, here we are. Matthew cranked the generator. I'm gonna turn this on. My sidekick Caleb obviously shot the deer, so it is fitting that he helped, right? Here we go. We're gonna start with a lung and a liver, frozen. Go with a beef testicle, lung and liver, Mangalitsa fat. It's frozen, ain't it? Send that down the chute, I'll help you. Look at that. There's some deer heart. Now deer heart grinds a lot better, don't it?
Yeah.
Here we go with some frozen liver and lung. There you go. As you see, liver grinds very wet. We're going to use that to our benefit when we do the mixture. We're going to put some stuff in there that will put that moisture to good use. All right, that concludes the liver. Now I think I want to put through the last piece of fat we got. I think so. Now I'm going to put through the rest of my beef testicles. These should go through just real easy. They're going to be very fatty as well and wet. Go ahead and plunge them. And now we're going to take our deer heart, finish out with that because deer heart grinds through the easiest and the cleanest. Go ahead and press down on that. And there we have it.
You gotta get me some time.
Ask Mom if we got some time.
Give me some time.
All right, as you can imagine, we're going for quite a bit of seasoning on this mixture because we want to sort of cover up our liver flavor because we're not crazy about liver. So I've got salt, turmeric. This is a superfood, okay? So we're going to have turmeric, which is known, some people say, that it helps reduce inflammation. And another thing here, we've got our zeotar that we made from sumac berries on this property, anti-inflammation. We're going to throw in a good amount of nutmeg. We're going to throw in a good amount of black pepper, a good amount of white pepper, sesame seeds, and marjoram, and some rubbed sage. And if we've got some thyme or oregano, I'm going to throw some of that in there as well.
Mary, where's my time? Where's our time?
All right. In the spirit of superfood, let's go with a pink Himalayan salt. And we're just going to put a decent amount of that right down the middle right there, just like that. And that's going to soak right in. I got a big chunk. I'm going to pull him out, break him up in there. Turmeric is a very strong, powerful flavor. We're not just going to overdo the turmeric. We're just going to put a nice little amount over the top like this. Zeotar, I'm just going to say sumac seasoning. we're just gonna sprinkle that down through there like this right here. Just a nice amount over the top. If you want to learn how to make your own sumac seasoning, there's a video for that. Just go to my channel, look down into the videos, and you'll see it. Rubbed sage. We're gonna not go too heavy on the rubbed sage. Just, it's not a real strong flavor, but this is a fairly fresh sage, and it has very aromatic. I can smell it plainly. Next, black pepper. Definitely black pepper. Right there we go. Now we're going to go white pepper. I got this seasoning here, this white pepper and sage and whatnot, from Muddy Pond General Store. They have some really good fresh seasoning up there. There's our pepper profile. Go give me some cayenne. I want to put some cayenne or some kind of really good spice in this. Here we go with our nutmeg. Not going to go real heavy with nutmeg. Marjoram, very well known for being a good sausage spice. We're just going to come down through there with that. And as I was told this morning by one of you good fine people, you can't really call this za'atar if it doesn't have sesame seeds and thyme or oregano in it. So we're going to do this. Put some sesame seeds in here. And do we have some oregano in there? Or thyme?
No, took the oregano over to Frankie's.
Oh no. Well, let's say marjoram will have to do for the oregano or the thyme, for time being. All right, we got this. I'm going to mix this a little bit, put it back in that pot, and then we're going to stir in our binder. For our binder, we have something that I've never seen used for a binder before, but it will work in place of potato starch. It feels like potato starch. It has that crunchy feel in your hands. I've never seen people use buckwheat flour as a binder for a sausage. We put it in our scrapple, and it works great in scrapple. All right, I'm just going to fold this together with the seasoning and start mixing. Once I get that done, I've got a bag with panko breadcrumbs right here. I'm going to mix the breadcrumbs in, and that's going to soak up all this extra juice we get going on. And boy, oh boy, at that point, we're going to be ready for some stuffing. Okay, we're stirring. And at this point, I am going to put 100% of these breadcrumbs in there. Just dump them in. And we're going to see how that works as we soak it in and we mix it all together. I am blown away by the flavor of that. Goodness. Okay, while he's getting the stuffer ready, I forgot about my pepper.
What?
For spice, this is a very hot pepper. It's hotter than cayenne. That's all I'm going to put. Just that much right there. And it is some that we grew maybe last year. Hotter than cayenne. It's a super hot red pepper called Carolina Reaper. If you know anything about Carolina Reaper, you know we've got some heat here. For our casing, we're going to be using LEM brand collagen casing. It's edible, it's smoked. That's what we're going to be using. Just going to cut off the appropriate amount, tie me a knot, and immediately this starts fogging up. You can tell this meat is very cold in here. This is the most unbelievable looking sausage I've ever dealt with. Keep her. Alright, stop. That's enough. That's enough. Look at that. That is beautiful. I cannot believe it. I'm glad we stuffed it. I think it's going to be the proper thing to do. But right now I'm going to throw this in the refrigerator or the freezer, get it good and chilled. Let those ingredients all come together. Because there's several things in there that take time, such as the breadcrumbs, the binder, all that good stuff. It's all going to come together. And then we're going to cook it and we're going to give you a taste test. All right, we are at the smoker. This is my hot smoker. I've got a smokehouse where I do cold smoking, but I'm not going to cold smoke these. I want to hot smoke these, get them up to 155, 160 degrees, somewhere in there. I've had these in the freezer until they became almost frozen. Then I moved them over to my refrigerator. I am tickled pink with the way they look. They look absolutely gorgeous. Now, I just started this fire. I want to get these in before it gets extremely hot. I want the thing to heat up with them in it. The reason? Because I don't want these sticking to this grate. And I'm just going to zigzag them back and forth just like this. The reason I haven't cut them apart is because these twists have not really dried out. So I'm going to let them dry out when they cook. Whenever they're done, then of course they're not going to come squirting out of there. So we're going to let this sit for a while, let this heat up, let these smoke, and I'll see you in just a minute. All right, we have hit a very high temperature. Some of it just reached 155, 156. Some of it went on up to a little hotter. What I'm doing right now is getting it in cold water so we can immediately stop the cooking process. I did have a couple of them split open on me, so I have not perfected the cooking art yet of these things, but perhaps I overstuffed them, perhaps I overcooked them, but some of them are not. Some of them are perfect, so we'll see how they taste here in a minute. Once the temperature comes down and they're stabilized, I'm gonna slice one of them up and we're gonna try it. And I think what I'm gonna do is have a liver, sausage, and onion stir fry, and we'll see how that tastes. All right, here we are. We're gonna try this out. It's got a very definite color to it. The fat, it looks awful. Absolutely does not taste awful. I could literally eat that all day. You wanna try one, Joel? You like it? It is extremely unusual, but it is good, I think. I just finally got my first bit of heat from the pepper on it. Okay, I'm gonna get in the kitchen. I'm gonna stir fry some of this with onions. That's what we're gonna eat for supper tonight. And we'll see what the rest of the family thinks. There really ain't that many more in the family. Just two more. Anyway, let's do it. All right, here we go. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna scoop some of this. It's still fresh and warm. Put it on the table. I mean on the plate. Why would I put it on the table? All right, Joe, step up there. Go ahead and get some. You girls didn't try any of the meat earlier. Mm. Hot. That's when you want to eat it. When it's still warm.
You should let it cool off. Go off a couple.
No, don't want it to cool off.
Yep, sure is.
Did we fix the flavor? I mean the texture issue? Yeah.
I think it's a little more done or something.
A little more done or something. Well, you heard him, folks. A little more done or something. Some of this, I mean, is still a little pink in the middle-ish. But I kind of think that's just kind of a liver deal. I don't know. Did you taste any spice? Did you taste the spices?
Yes.
So I guess here's what the deal is. If you make this superfood sausage, vitamin packed, unbelievably good for you sausage, you want to eat it, fry it with onions. If you're a liver and onions person, you'll go crazy over this because I'm not even a liver and onions person and I could eat this a lot. It's good. And my boys could too, couldn't they?
Yeah.
So, as you see, it's all in the preparation. I have literally thrown hundreds of these deer livers and lungs away over the last 20 years. So, I probably still will when I'm in a bind or, you know, you can't help where your bullet goes a lot of times. This one was so pristine because Caleb accidentally shot the deer in the head. And so thanks to Caleb, we got a pristine liver, a pristine set of lungs, pristine heart, and well, you know, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna take one more little bite of onion. All right, that's all we've got for you. We hope you have a great day. Thanks to Caleb for shooting this big deer. We'll see you on the next video. They're going forward like a bunch of scavengers.